get the notifications. All right, welcome back, penny stock billionaires. We're looking at the stock charts. I wanted to just bring this to your attention. What is happening with Siyata and lottery were both on the move, and especially lottery. I did a couple of videos here for the TikTok people on lottery, and what I wanted to actually show, I'm going to show these guys the. Let me flip the camera. Let me flip the camera. How do we do this? Flip camera. There we go. Okay, so what I wanted to show TikTok is basically this is the chart. Again, guys, if you read the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, 10-Bagger Blueprint, you would know we're big on charts. So, you know, this morning we had a breakout above this moving average. It was around, I think, $1.95. Let's call it $1.95. And that was your signal, basically, to take a look at this thing. And, you know, you want to buy, you want to sell, whatever you want to do. But this is, you know, it means we're moving up. And sure enough, we moved up. And guess what? We got halted right at the moving average. Right at that moving average. And, you know, because it's very powerful resistance. That's the 200 moving average. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart right now. We bounced off support. Now, this is why it's important. This is why I'm doing this video right now. This is why I'm doing this video right now, because we're bouncing off the support. And I think we're going to make another attempt at this moving average, at this 200 moving average. And if we do, this could be the actual attempt that works. We're at 212 right now. So it's actually a pretty significant move here. Pretty significant move. I mean, everybody's complaining. This stock is down. That stock is down. This stock is up. I mean, listen, I mean, you know, it's the market. It fluctuates. It fluctuates. That's what happens, okay? The market fluctuates. By the way, you know, a lot of you guys are complaining, oh, I got in late. This is late. Oh, this stock is down. Well, you already know, especially TikTok people, they already know that whenever we introduce a new stock, it usually has a big run, a big run. And we're going to have a new stock next week, new stock. And I think that one's going to be hot right out of the gate. It'll probably double first day. So if you want to get in, make sure that you are getting in. You are getting in at the ground floor. You want to get in at the ground floor? Well, first of all, you got to get my free newsletter. Links are in the bio or in the video description. You got to get the book. We're going to have the course coming out so you guys understand what I'm talking about with these charts. And I just want to show something to the people here on the YouTube. So basically, the bottom line is if you're looking at these charts, and I think I'll show the TikTok people also. Make sure they see this. So how effective is this moving average as a buy-sell indicator? Well, look what happened last time. When we broke out of those moving averages, the 50 and the 200, boom, that was your buy signal right here. Buy signal, massive move up from, you know, $1.28 to almost $9 after hours. Huge move, $8. You could have made $8 right there. Now, you'd have had a sell. You would have had a sell signal right here when we broke below the moving average, of course. Another buy signal. So you would have gotten churned, buy, sell. And finally, you would have sold over here again. Again, assuming you're disciplined. You got to do this every time. So then you would have bought again. But bottom line is, if you would have just followed this moving average, you would be so far ahead in the stock, it's not even funny. Now, how many people are that disciplined? How many people? 1 out of 1,000. Literally. Am I that disciplined? No, I'm not, actually. I'm not. That's why I stay away from day trading, because you really need to be basically like a robot. You need to be a robot to do this in the short-term charts. Look at this. We're at 213. I think we're going to bust through right here. I bet we're going to bust through this 225. It's actually 223 now. The algos are going to get triggered. We're at 214 right now. We're at 214. This thing is on the move. Look, the FOMO is going to kick in. The algos are going to kick in any second now. Any second now, we're going to have a massive explosion. By the way, look at these. You see these things scrolling by. You see this stuff at the bottom of my screen. TikTok, you see this? Let me show you something, TikTok. You see this? Some of our past winners. Yeah, these are some of our past winners. 2,000%, 1,000%, 1,700%, 5,000%. Wait till. By the way, I don't brag about doubles and triples. I'm not like one of these guys that brags about doubles and triples, because I don't consider that a win. Hang on a second. Here we go. Here comes the scroller. So guys, if you want to make profits like that, here we go. 2,000%, 1,500%, 5,000%, 1,400%, 1,300%, 1,700%, 2,000%. Yeah, those are some of our past clients. Some of the stocks that we featured right here. And guess what? Guess what, TikTok? Guess what, YouTube? You know what? Every single one of those stocks that went up 20x, people made 20 times the money, 50 times the money. They all follow the same exact pattern that we're seeing right now with Siyata, with Lottery, with Hoth. Same thing. It never changes. Meaning the stock goes up again. And you would know this if you had read the book. You read the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Links are in the bio. Is there any broker you use with your group? I don't know. You can go to Robinhood. Robinhood. I don't know. Whatever you want. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. I believe. Okay, Ben. Hang on. Ben. We'll see. Pin this comment. We'll see. I'll be $5. Yes, I believe. My opinion. Again, everything I'm saying here is paid content. It's not investment advice. These are high-risk stocks. Let me be clear. High risk. We'll see how to be $5. I believe if we break out of 225 today, that sets us up for a move on to 250. I think, hang on a second, let me pull up a 30-minute. Yeah, I think what's the number that we need to reach? We need to break 285 roughly. If we break 285, I think we're going to $5, like in a matter of days, okay? Now, bottom line, this is why I'm doing this live stream. Do you realize I do these live streams only when there's big moves happening? We're at 215 right now. 215 on Siyata. 215 on Siyata. We're forming a pennant. Again, on the 15-minute chart, 225 is the breakout number. 225 is the number to watch. We're going to have, I believe, a massive algo frenzy. Here's what I like about these Fridays. It's a quiet Friday. Most people are off. We only have 69 people watching on TikTok. That's right, 69 people. Now it's 70. Okay, we had 69 people watching on TikTok. Nobody's watching on YouTube. It's very quiet. And you know what? I remember. Look, when I was just starting out on Wall Street, when I was starting out on Wall Street, this old trader said, "Listen, you got to watch these days. The action happens. The action happens always on these like holiday weekends when nobody's around." Look, we got 67 people. Like on TikTok, on Twitter, nobody's watching. And what he said was this: they do the murder when nobody's watching, meaning they either stock collapses or runs because the market is very thin. So this is where the big action happens. The big action happens on these quiet days. Guys, the book, we're going to have a course coming out next week. We're going to have the new stock. That's right. We're going to have the new stock launching next week. I think this is going to be hot right out of the gate, just like Siyata, just like Lottery, just like Hoth. Remember, Lottery, we introduced Lottery at $1. The thing went up to $2.65 in 3 days. That's right. People tripled the money in 3 days. It doubled on the first day. Hoth nearly doubled on the first day, and it would have doubled on the first day had we done what we're going to do. So this time around, I'm going to do something special. So we're going to have for members only. That's right. You're going to have to invest. You're going to have to make an investment. For members only, we're going to have a special membership program. What we're going to do is this. We're going to give you early notifications. So you're going to get a notification, and we'll tell you where we're going to be announcing it. So that way you'll have a heads up. You'll have like a head start of maybe 10 seconds roughly. But actually, you'll have more. You may have a 30-second head start, which is, by the way, big because these stocks can literally double in 30 seconds. So you're going to have a head start on the unwashed masses, on the guys who don't want to invest the money. You'll have a head start, and what's going to happen is you'll have a head start. You'll be able to get in. Then we're going to announce it everywhere else, right? And the market will decide what the stock is worth. That's right. The market decides what the stock is worth. It's not me. I'm just taking undervalued stocks and bringing them to the attention of the public. The market does what the market does. Now, look what's going on with Siyata. We're backing off. Now, you know what I think happened? Here's what I think is going on. I think some short sellers, they know they're following these charts, so they know to basically short the stock right at that moving average. And if you look at the volume, I'm showing you the volume right here on YouTube. You can see it. TikTok, you should be watching YouTube, but you can see it. Right when we hit that moving average, right when we hit that 200 at 229, 230, a massive dump of stock came in and dropped. And here we are. We're making another attempt to our 207 again. It looks like it's coiling. It looks like it really wants to break out. Now, you know what? I bet, you know, as soon as I'm off the live stream, that's when the action is going to happen. I have no idea. You want Siyata to get to somebody said momentum. Somebody's asking about the merger. The merger, as far as I know, everything is, you know, moving forward, right? Everything is moving forward. I think we should have some news next week. So let's see what happens. Let's go to lottery for a second. Let me pull up a lottery, because lottery also is one. I was expecting this one to make a big move. It's the lottery. It's flashing the buy signal. It's already broken out of 15 to 200. So it has the buy signal, and you got the golden cross. The question is, why is lottery not moving? And we broke out of the 200 also. So I mean, lottery right here, I think is just waiting for. And we're going to have a live stream next week with the guy running their what do you call it? Let me show this thing to YouTube, to TikTok. I mean, the guy running sports.com. Okay, this is a buy signal right there, and that's the 1 hour chart. So that's big. Look what happened last time when we broke out. Boom, massive move up, and it's happened now again. So you have right here it's flashing a massive buy signal. Lottery's flashing a massive buy signal. Why is the stock it's kind of stuck here? I mean, it feels like it's kind of stuck here. Why is it not moving? I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I know everything? I don't know anything. So it's kind of hanging out here. It might even go back to test that support line. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. That's the market for you. That's the market. I have no control over the markets. Do I feel them? Yeah. So the merger. Let's see. Hoth. What's going on with Hoth? I don't know. Hoth has also kind of been quiet today. Again, today is kind of a slow day. Anything can happen. So these stocks can be very, very volatile on both sides, because nobody's watching. Like literally right now, I mean, we have look, we got 70 people. We got 59 people here on TikTok, which is nothing. We got 50 people on YouTube or something. Somebody's saying volume too low. Yeah, of course, volume is low. We had a holiday yesterday. The market was closed. People are taking off today also. They're basically doing a 4-day weekend. You realize right now we're in the middle of a 4-day weekend. That's why Trump is complaining about this. You got all these new holidays. People are just pulling holidays out of their hat. I mean, it's ridiculous. Market is, so basically we have a 4-day vacation right now, which is causing these stocks to have low volume because nobody's watching. Everybody's in the Hamptons. Siyata. Okay, so what is going on here? Yeah, so look, I thought we would have a move right now. Okay, so I like this guy, Raheem Zai saying all your stock are slow and they're not 10x, all failed. Let me see. I like this guy. Hang on a second. Pin. How do I pin this comment? Raheem Zai. Okay. All my stocks are slow and they're not failed. So again, this is a guy who's obviously missed out on the big moves. He was not watching. This guy Raheem Zai is not going to invest the money in the membership. So he's not going to get in on the next winner, which is probably going to double out of the gate. He's going to complain only after probably the thing runs up 500%. He's going to buy it on the pullback, on the retracement. Again, Raheem Zai, if you know how to read, I'm going to do a course just for you on the video. But if you got my book, again, you're not even making the investment at $18. If you got the book, then you would know every one of our winners, all those charts, and I've done a bunch of videos. It's free content here. All of our big winners all behave exactly the same way. I don't know why these people, they don't understand. A stock doesn't just go straight to the moon the second we announce it. In order for a stock to go up 2,000%, 5,000%, this guy Raheem Zai has never had a 10-bagger in his life. I guarantee you this. He's never had a real win. If he did, if he did, if this guy ever had a real winner, a stock that went up 10x, I bet 1% of the people watching right now ever had a 10 bagger that they got in at the ground floor and they made 10 times the money that they held on. See, what happens is whenever, again, this is just my experience. My experience is different because I'm proactive in these stocks. We're promoting these stocks, so we're, but when we get involved with the stock, which is undervalued, we make it known. All of a sudden, more buyers come into the stock because more people understand the upside potential. They start buying the stock, and sometimes they explode right out of the gate. They might double or triple like we've seen. And by the way, we're going to have a new stock next week. Pay attention. We're going to have a new stock next week. And, most of you guys are going to miss it because most of you guys are not paying attention. The new stock is going to be coming out next week. It's going to be hot, red hot. I believe, again, my opinion, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying no guarantees. These are high risk, highly speculative. But what happens is either they start off slow, then they explode, or they explode out of the gate. But either way, no matter what, once one of these stocks goes up 500% or whatever big move it makes, if it's a parabolic move, then they pull back. They do a retracement. They got to shake out the weak hands. They got to shake out the mooch bums like Raheem Zai. They got to shake out Raheem Zai, and then they can go on. Then they can move on. Okay, so we got a comment here from a guy saying new stock and he ran out of money. He ran out of money, he's saying. Ed Blaze saying he ran out of money. Ed, if you read my book, we're going to do the course. Very important. Money management, very important. Meaning, do you put all your money into one stock, into one idea? I wouldn't. Okay, what you want to do is you want to have money for 10 different ideas. So meaning, if you like what we're doing here, if you like this next super stock thing, you like everything we're doing, what you do is you start with, I don't know, whether it's 10 grand, whatever the number is, you allocate. This is, I'm going to make it very simple, 10% to each idea. 10% to each idea. Okay? That way you don't have to worry about it. If one fails, who cares? You got nine other bullets. You got 9 other bullets. You guys are firing. You got one bullet in the gun. You got one bullet, right? You got to have, the thing packed, right? You got to load that thing up, right? You got to have one in the chamber, and then the other 20, or what is it, 15? I don't know. You could do whatever. It's in the clip, right? So you got to have dry powder. So meaning you put not more than 10% into one idea, maybe 20% into one idea, because if you put all your money into one stock that we have, that's it. Odds are you're probably going to lose your money, because usually when you're in a desperate situation, that's why they say scared money don't make money, because usually when you're desperate, it's hard to think clearly. It's just the way it is. I've been there. I have been there. So, I can explain. I know what it's like. You gotta be disciplined. Yeah, listen, Mark, exactly. Look, all I'm doing is I'm giving you the information. What you do with the information is up to you. It's like fire, right? You can heat your house so you don't freeze to death in the winter, or you can burn down your house. It's like anything, right? A knife, right? You can use a knife as a tool for a cutting thing. A knife is the most valuable tool, or you can kill somebody with a knife, right? That's the it's everything. Everything has multiple. Everything. Zahid, he's got the book. Okay, we're gonna have the course. It's coming out with a video course. I think next week we're gonna announce it. I think next week. Okay, Siyata is 213. What's my opinion on Siyata? Jonathan says, "What's my opinion on Siyata?" Salman Patel, $15. I like this guy. Look, if and when Siyata closes this merger, again, nothing is guaranteed. Anything can happen. But if and when they close this deal, you got a path to $15, $25. I've given you guys a thesis. I'm not going to repeat it again. Okay. What I'm watching right now is the charts. If we break out of 225, next level is like around 280. If we break that, I think we're going to see $5. Then we could see a major move in the stock. So what day are we going to announce the new stock? I don't know. First of all, we're going to, for our membership group, I'm thinking it's going to be, I'm going to make it it's not going to be cheap because I don't want to have like a lot of people. We're going to have very few people. I think what we're going to do is we'll make it like, to start out with, $500 for 2 months. So basically $250 a month, let's call it. And I'm expecting to have at least 2 stocks per month. So you're going to have four shots on goal. You're going to have a chance to get in early. Now, if I'm half right, you should be able to make at least 50% on each one if you're going to be just a day trader, just a flipper. If you're just going to be a flipper. So that means if you're trading with even $5,000, which I don't recommend, I think you should be with more, but let's say you have $5,000 and you put in, whatever, you'll make that, you'll basically make your money back, like, you'll in the first trade. In the first trade, you should be what day are we going to announce the new stock? The new stock is going to be announced. We're going to let our paid members know. So what happens is when you join the paid program, the premium, the inner circle, we're going to call it the inner circle. When you join the inner circle, what's going to happen is we're going to let you know the day and the time. The day and the time. Okay? Make sure you're getting our free newsletter and you're getting notifications here because we're going to make that the big announcement. You want to get the membership program. Again, so basically, is it a good deal? I don't know. I don't care if you do it or you don't do it. I really don't care if you buy or you don't buy this program. The reason I'm doing this is because, I don't want people complaining, saying, you gave it this late or this. No. Now you're going to know exactly what time. I'm going to maybe tell you, okay, it's Wednesday at 3:01 p.m. We're going to make the announcement on, StockTwits. We're going to post the name of the company. So that way you'll know where to look and you'll be able to have your brokerage thing open and look at the chart and boom, put the order in right away. Because most people are not going to figure out for at least, you might have, I'm saying 30 seconds. It might be a couple of minutes because we're not going to post it everywhere all at once. I mean, we're doing it in a public enough place where, there's enough people that could see it, right? But it's not going to be, everywhere all at once. The reason I'm doing that is I don't want to have the thing, have a market imbalance. Because what happened with Hoth is I was here doing the live stream. I said, hey, we're going to introduce the new stock. We had 2,000 people watching. And how many of them bought all at once? I think it was a couple hundred. It was probably a couple hundred people put in big orders. So Rune, that it's going to be probably $500 for 2 months. I'm going to start off with that. And the reason I'm doing that is again, I don't want to have too many people. I want to have only a handful of people. I don't know, whatever the number is. It's going to be a small number of people. Because that way, when we announce the thing, it'll be orderly. It's not going to be crazy. But then, 30 seconds later, we'll post it everywhere else. But you'll have, again, and it's full disclosure. It's all above board. It's in a public place. We're not, it's not in a secret. We're not announcing this in a secret chat room. By the way, guys, if you don't want to spend $500, or I should say invest, if you don't want to invest the $500, what you should do is you should just be checking all of our social medias all the time because we may announce it. That's right. Because that way, there we go. What is going on with Siyata? 208. See, okay, this is very annoying. This is very annoying. It's annoying because, I don't want to spend an hour here. I don't want to spend an hour doing this video. I'm hoping this thing runs. Now I'm here already 25 minutes, and we're still here. It's a quiet Friday. I think they're going to do it at the close because what happened last time, guys? Do you remember? This is about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago after the stock dropped, after it had that it fell off. And let me see if I can pull it up. I think it was right here. I think this was the move. And what happened was it was on a Friday, and I went on and I told everybody, hey guys, watch. This thing is breaking out, and sure enough, boom, the thing ran $1. It ran $1. So make sure you do whatever you want to do, but make sure you keep an eye on Siyata today, because it may have an explosive move towards the close. Okay, because that's what it did a couple of weeks ago, and we have the same type of situation happening right now. Will it happen? I don't know. But next week, I think we're going to see something positive. Okay, what's going on with Hoth? I got Hoth up here. I don't know why the stock sold off this morning. I don't know. The chart was looking really good, but it's what I call a controlled sell-off. It's just, I don't know, dropped 10 cents, and here we are building a base. It looks like it wants to go higher at this point. Let me pull up the yeah, there we go. 5-minute chart. We're building looks like an inverse head and shoulders. Hoth, if we break above $1.25, you got a buy signal on Hoth right now. $1.25 and then $1.31. Those are your next buy levels on Hoth. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. And again, we're bouncing off. Look what happened. If you look at this, it's so funny. If you look at this chart on Hoth, I got the 30-minute chart here. If you guys are watching on TikTok, you should be watching on YouTube, because I'm showing the chart on Hoth, and you can see that 30-minute line has been such a strong level of support for the stock, where it bounces from. So let's see, what else are we looking at? LITM, I don't know. This thing is like, it's going sideways. You know, we had who's the guy that said our stocks are going sideways? LITM is going sideways. You're right. LITM is going sideways. You know, we thought it was going to break out the other day. It didn't. And this is how it works. Guys, nothing is guaranteed. I mean, I know some people think that, okay, just because I say something, all of a sudden, holy shit. Oh, no, wrong stock. I'm looking at Hoth. I thought it was Siyata. Okay, Hoth is $1.22. It looks like we're building a base ready to run. Let's see. I got to get going in a few minutes. 209. Are we going to get the breakout today? I don't know. We're going to find out. It happened a few weeks ago. I think it's going to happen again. Oh, we got Michael Mahendra. Here. Okay, Michael Mahendra. Long time no speak, Michael Mahendra. Michael, I'm focusing only on American stocks now. I'm done with Canada. I am done with Canada. I'm focusing on real companies. None of this CSC, TSX, these Canadian CEOs. I'm sorry, these Canadian companies, they're just a bunch of mooch bums. Now, Michael Mahendra. So the TikTok people, hang on a second. Let me pull up TikTok. Let me show Michael Mahendra. Okay, so TikTok, you see this guy, Michael Mahendra? Michael Mahendra has been following us for 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Michael Mahendra has been, on all our stuff. He's been on our Discord, everything. Michael Mahendra knows about our winners. Michael Mahendra was there when we had all those 10 baggers, the stocks that went up 1,000%, 2,000%, and more. Michael, are you into Siyata? Yeah, Michael. By the way, I'm going to be doing. Michael, I'm going to be doing a revision of my book, 10 Bagger Blueprint. I'm going to be doing a revision of my book. I'm going to be doing a revision, and you know what? I'm going to have a chapter saying I'm done with Canada. I'll tell you why. First of all, you got these regulators. I mean, they're all common. They're basically common. They're socialists. It's a socialist government. And what they want to do is, here's the problem with Canada. Again, I know we have a lot of Canadians here, right? We know we have a lot of Canadians. And the problem with Canada is it's like, the Canadians are, I think they're afraid of success, right? Like, because how do I know they're afraid of success? Because the exchanges, the regulator, the TSX, the CSE, they all have this concept called over promotion, meaning it's illegal to do over promotion. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's whatever they want it to mean. Basically, yeah, they don't want you to be an optimist. They don't want you to be ambitious in Canada. In America, if you say, hey, I'm looking for stocks that are going to be 10 baggers. I want to make 10 times my money. This company I'm building is going to go to the moon. We're building $1 billion company. In America, everybody claps. In Canada, they want to send you to prison if you say that, because they don't want to see other people succeed. And when you do succeed, they want to tax you. The taxes in Canada are absolutely crazy. Okay, Michael, I love you too. He's in Siyata. He bought Siyata 3 days ago. There you go. He got in at the ground floor. And by the way, Michael Mahendra can tell you all our stocks. Michael, do you remember Nextech? Does anybody remember Nextech? Let me see if I can pull it up. Nextech, it doubled. It doubled. Everybody was happy. It took a little while for it to double. And then short sellers came in, it dropped, whatever. At the same thing with Imagine AR. And then they basically went back to where they started, and then they went up 1,000% from there. There we go. Michael was in on that. No, Canadians love money. Everybody loves money. All human beings love money. Everybody loves money. The problem is Canada has this very European attitude. They're like kind of this English European attitude, which is basically they're envious. They're envious of people who make more than they do, and they're lazy, right? If you look at it, why is America so successful? Americans work hard, right? The Europeans are lazy. They don't want to work hard. They want to enjoy their life. That's fine. That's fine. They want to have a good life. The French, the Europeans, the Germans, they have 2-month vacations. They take a 3-month vacations, right? Canada wants to do the same thing. But if somebody else makes money and they're not making money, they're jealous. So we have all our competitors, some of our mooch bump competitors in Canada file false complaints with the regulators. You got these regulators are all corrupt. The chairman of the Canadian Securities Exchange, okay, the chairman of the CSE, his name is Tom Caldwell. Tom Caldwell is a crook. He's like the Bernie Madoff of Canada. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find this chat. Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. I'm going to tell you who the people are. That's in Canada. Who's running the exchange? Crooks. You know who was the chairman of NASDAQ? Bernie Madoff. Anybody remember Bernie Madoff? Okay, so let me show you guys something. So this is Caldwell Securities, Caldwell Investment Management. This is Tom Caldwell. This is the guy who's the chairman of the CS of the Canadian Exchange. I'm going to show you some of his. This is some of his fines. Hang on a second. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. I'm going to show you Tom Caldwell. This is the chairman of the Canadian Securities Exchange. This is who has fined him. Okay, who has fined him, and who is suing him. Okay. So the Ontario Securities Commission, that's like the SEC in the US, basically. Okay, so what happened? So Caldwell directed clients' trades through its own brokerage firm. Okay, so if this Tom Caldwell, this scumbag, this crook Tom Caldwell was managing your money, he directed all the trades through his own brokerage firm. Okay, through his own brokerage, so he can get that spread, so he can make money off you. Even when other broker dealers are offering better terms, he failed to honor best execution obligation, misleading disclosure to mutual fund investors. He's a crook. Tom Caldwell is a crook. He's a fucking crook. Okay, let me repeat again. Tom Caldwell is a fucking crook. Let me show you what this guy looks like, and that's the guy who's the chairman of the Canadian Securities Exchange. Let me show you what this guy looks like. Let me show you what this piece of shit looks like. That's Tom Caldwell. The guy looks like, I don't know, looks like a pedophile. I'm not saying the guy's a pedophile. I'm not saying he is, but if these guys have a look, they have a certain look. They got a certain look. Now I'm not saying, I have no idea. I don't know the guy. He's a what we do know is Tom Caldwell right here is a crook. Tom Caldwell of the CSE is a crook. And by the way, if we have Mark Faulkner, who's the regulator of the CSE watching, Mark Faulkner, your chairman, who's basically paying your salary, okay, who you're beholden to, is a crook. And you're a crook, Mark Faulkner, at the CSE. That's why I'm not doing stuff with Canadian companies. Okay, so you had to pay $2 million fine, $1.8 million fine. That's a huge fine. Even Bernie Madoff didn't have a fine like that. Even Bernie Madoff did not have that big of a fine. Actually, Bernie Madoff never had any fines until he was caught, doing the Ponzi scheme. I mean, look at this guy. Again, disciplinary action, broker misconduct. Tom Clark, working at Caldwell, he had to pay $55,000, a reimbursement of client losses, falsified documents, unauthorized trading into accounts, and falsified documents, including forged signatures. That's Caldwell Securities. And who else did falsified documents? Mark Faulkner, the regulator at the Canadian Securities Exchange. That's right. Mark Faulkner at the Canadian Securities Exchange, the head regulator at the Canadian Securities Exchange, the stock exchange, committed multiple acts of fraud. How do we know? We caught him red-handed. That's why, and he holded a stock called News Corp, which I'm heavily involved in. Well, that's why I'm doing this. That is why I'm talking about this. And we're going to be just getting started on this guy. We're going to take this guy apart, okay? Okay, current status, fully set. Okay, so takeaway, Caldwell have shared shareholder lawsuits for serious regulatory breaches, including misuse of client order flow and forged trading. While both matters result in significant fines, structural reform, they serve as cautionary. Hang on a second. I'm going to find, hang on a second. We're going to find this. We're going to find this thing. There's more. Caldwell Securities. We're going to find this here. Unbelievable. Let's go back to our favorite stock. Meanwhile, yeah, Siyata on the move. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I got sidetracked with Canadian. We're talking about Canadian stocks. It's not the problem. The problem in Canada is not that. The problem is they're corrupt. The problem is this. The regulators are corrupt. They're incredibly stupid. I mean, literally, they're incredibly stupid. Like this guy, Mark Faulkner at the CSE. You got this dumb bitch, Stella Yoon at the TSX. She complains whenever we post a chart with an arrow going up. She says, oh, that's over promotion. What does she know about technical analysis? Nothing. What does Mark Faulkner know about technical analysis? Nothing. I mean, he was a motorcycle teacher. So these guys, I mean, literally, you never heard of this. I mean, on no stock exchange on the planet do you have a guy who doesn't have a stockbroker license at least, who's got an MBA, a law degree. At least you have those things before you can become a regulator. Not in Canada. They take a guy, off the street. The guy was a motorcycle teacher. He's a motorcycle teacher at some mooch bum college called like Bumblefuck College or Humber. I think it's called Humber College. I mean, we're gonna have a whole thing. We're gonna have a whole investigation on this guy. Let's go back to this. Okay, so Caldwell Securities, individual rep, Tom Cole, civil litigation. Again, this is I'm showing Gordon Capital. Pattern of process weaknesses. Not fraud. It is fraud. First, that's advisor rule. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff. We got more stuff. It's not coming up here. It's not coming up. There was a bunch of other lawsuits, including in Portland, Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, of all places, the guy was operating as an illegal brokerage firm in Portland, Oregon, in America. The guy should be locked up. Yeah, we're going to I'm going to make sure that these guys get locked up, because Tom Caldwell and Mark Faulkner are absolute crooks. And those are the people running the Canadian Stock Exchange who are stealing money from the investors. They're stealing money from guys like you, Canadian regulators. Mark Faulkner, Stella Yun, we'll get a whole list of them. We got a whole list of these scumbags in Canada. Anyway, let's go back to our favorite stocks. Lottery, $1.34. We're forming a pennant here on the charts. Is it moving? Not yet. How about Hoth? $1.22, bouncing off support line on the 30-minute chart. Oh, you can't get paid on TikTok from Canada? What? Unbelievable. I mean, look at the guy running the country in Canada. And look at this. Who are the Canadians who have left? What does Elon Musk, Chamath Palihapitiya, who's a billionaire, Chamath, Elon Musk, I'm trying to think who else. What do they all have in common? They left Canada. That's right. Elon Musk was a Canadian. Elon Musk moved to Canada originally. He moved to Canada originally from South Africa. Why did he leave Canada? Because he realized it's a shitty place to do business. It's a corrupt country. It's a kleptocracy, meaning they're all thieves, and it's ineptocracy, meaning they're all incompetent. There you go. Alimony for life. Oh my God. Here we go. Hoth ready to make a move. Okay, I got to get out of here. Yeah, I'm running late. I got places to be. All right, so that's it. We got 3:14. I'm not gonna wait till the closing bell, unfortunately, because I got to leave right now. All right, TikTok. We'll see you in the next one. Let me put this away here, my phone. YouTube, we're going to say goodbye. Okay, new stock coming next week. Let me pull this up. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, get the book. We're going to have what do you call it? We're going to have a new stock next week. We'll see you all Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. We'll see. Keep your eye on Siyata. We may have a massive move here. Here's to your 100x.